Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into a debate that honestly feels like the never-ending web development tug-of-war.
Oh, yeah, that one.
You know the one.
Yeah.
It's the constant framework wars. That feeling of needing to choose sides.
Yeah.
As if you're pledging allegiance to one JavaScript paradigm over another, and then, well, you're just stuck.
It's more than just a feeling, isn't it? This pressure to constantly debate which framework is best. It can be exhausting.
Totally.
Especially when developers are searching for that single definitive answer that, let's be honest, rarely exists for every project or team. It often feels like you're committing for life.
Exactly. And that constant choosing, that debate, it leads us right to the core challenge we're tackling in this deep dive. The concept of vendor lock-in.
Ah, yes. The sticky situation.
It's the sticky situation where you become so reliant on a specific framework's ecosystem that it actually starts to impact your innovation, your performance, and ultimately your freedom to choose. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. We're witnessing an emerging countertrend, a clear path to greater flexibility and power. We're talking about the rise of framework agnosticism and runtime agnosticism.
And this isn't just some, theoretical discussion. This philosophical shift is already manifesting in powerful tools and methodologies that are redefining how we build for the web.
Right. So our mission today is to explore these concepts, uncover what they truly mean for you, the developer, and see how key players like nitro.js are leading this charge towards a more flexible future.
We really want to unpack this.
So to really unpack all of this, we've pulled together a fantastic stack of sources. We've got incredibly direct ground-level perspectives from developers in the trenches through Reddit discussions on vendor lock-in.
Yeah, those are always revealing.
Then we pivot to GitHub discussions on project governance, giving us insider insights into the inner workings and debates within open source communities.
Crucial context there.
And of course, we're diving into in-depth articles on emerging tools like nitro.js and the broader JavaScript ecosystem.
It's really important for you to understand that this deep dive isn't merely about what's new or trendy.
No, it's deeper than that.
It's about grasping the underlying philosophies and the practical shifts that are fundamentally redefining how we build for the web. Our goal is to extract those most important nuggets of knowledge, those true aha moments.
Yeah, takeaways.
To help you navigate this increasingly complex, yet undeniably exciting landscape. We want you to walk away not just informed, but empowered.
So what did this all mean for you, and where do we even begin with such a fundamental shift? Let's start by confronting the very real weight of choice and really understanding vendor lock-in in web development. The first thing that jumps out from our sources, especially from those, candid Reddit threads, is this pervasive observation that vendor lock libraries might actually be slowing down the entire web development industry.
It's a bold claim.
It is. But when you look at the evidence presented, it begins to resonate with a lot of developers' experiences, I think.
It absolutely does. The core idea circulating in these discussions is that despite the rapid pace of innovation with newer, often more performant frameworks, their widespread adoption is significantly hampered by the deeply entrenched ecosystems of older, more dominant ones. Like one Reddit user, for instance, shared their experience with SvelteKit.
Okay.
They described Svelte as a genuine upgrade in every sense to React, specifically highlighting its superior performance, ease of use, and developer performance.
Strong words.
Yeah. And they even quantified it, stating that Yarn Dev for SvelteKit was 10-20 times faster compared to Next for them.
Wow, 10 to 20 times?
Yeah. These aren't minor improvements. They represent massive practical advantages for a developer's daily workflow.
Right, so you have these blazing fast, seemingly more evolved tools like SvelteKit, or even things like Quick or Astro, which promise huge gains. Yet, despite these clear, almost irrefutable benefits, their widespread popularity isn't skyrocketing in the way you might expect.
Exactly. And the reason, as the user points out, is precisely the ecosystem. The vast majority of great libraries that developers rely on, from UI components to state management,
Stuff you need every day,
are still predominantly written for React.
So that creates a bind.
It creates a deeply frustrating paradox. If you, as a developer, want to leverage a specific high-quality library in your SvelteKit project, You're frequently compelled to import React and React.js and client render the component that uses said library.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This immediately, and often entirely, negates one of the huge foundational benefits of these newer frameworks, like the performance gains from server-side rendering, SSR.
Right, so you're using SvelteKit, but still loading React under the hood sometimes.
Precisely. It's truly like investing in a high-performance sports car, but then being forced to drive it only on congested city streets because that's where all the specialized fueling stations are located. You're simply not unlocking its full potential.
That analogy perfectly captures the frustration. So it begs the question, is this persistent reliance on a single dominant framework actually beneficial for the web as a whole?
It's a tough question.
Does creating stability around a single ecosystem through this mechanic of vendor lock-in inadvertently slow down overall innovation and performance across the entire web landscape? I mean, think about your own experience listening to this. Have you ever felt this tension?
I bet many have.
That desire to experiment with a newer, faster, seemingly better tool, but found yourself held back by the sheer volume of existing libraries or even the established skill set of your team, all tied to an older, more established ecosystem. It's a very common, very real dilemma.
And this dilemma isn't a recent development either. One insightful comment in that Reddit thread highlighted that web components intended to solve this exact problem of interoperability.
Right, the dream of framework-agnostic components.
But for various reasons, they never really took off in the way many had hoped. This points to a deeper, more systemic issue within web development: the often glacial pace of official web standards compared to the rapid, agile evolution of frameworks.
That's a truly critical observation. The web doesn't innovate on its own, as one user incisively put it.
Yeah, that phrasing stuck with me.
Instead, it waits until large ecosystems form around a given approach, then adopts the approach into the standard. Consider this. Front-end developers, for years, yearn for custom HTML tags and deeply integrated styling and functionality.
Absolutely. The component model was a natural evolution.
That's precisely why early pioneers like Angular.js directives, and then later React, Vue, and Svelte, all independently adopted that component-based approach, solving a clear developer pain point.
And yet, web components, the official W3C standard for this very idea, are only broadly standardized and adopted in the last few years.
It's kind of mind-boggling when you put it like that.
To put it into perspective, React reached version 1.0 in early 2014. HTML5, which web components are an integral part of, didn't even become a recommended standard until October 2014.
So React was basically out before the standard it conceptually aligns with.
In a way, yeah. React, the framework, actually predates HTML5 as an official standard recommendation. This stark timeline illustrates just how incredibly slow the standards bodies can move compared to the blistering pace of framework innovation.
And it's not just about components, is it? We see this pattern repeated across the board.
Definitely. Think about CSS nesting.
Oh yeah, SAS had that forever.
The CSS working group is still actively debating how to officially handle nesting, a feature that SAS, a CSS preprocessor, has had for over a decade. Rounded corners, client-side routing, jQuery, advanced animations. The historical pattern is clear. Frameworks consistently push the boundaries, demonstrate what's truly possible, and then, sometimes years later, the official standards might catch up.
And that lag creates the lock-in.
This significant delay inevitably entrenches dependency on specific framework ecosystems for access to cutting-edge features, thereby solidifying that pervasive vendor lock feeling.
Okay, but there's another perspective too, right?
Yeah.
Some people push back on this idea.
Right. It's important to acknowledge a conflicting viewpoint that emerged from that same Reddit thread. One user forcefully argued that vendor lock is a myth if software is being continuously iterated on.
How does that argument go?
Their reasoning was quite direct. Business requirements will change, and you'll be forced to update and refactor anyway, so a framework change would just be part of that natural evolution.
Okay.
They contended that if software isn't being iterated on, it gets abandoned for something new entirely.
So basically, if you're maintaining it, you'll change frameworks if needed anyway.
That's the gist. This perspective, while intriguing, raises a very important question. Does this perspective truly hold true in practical reality for all organizations?
Especially the big ones.
Exactly. Especially those grappling with the Svelte user who absolutely loves the framework, still candidly admitted they can see why commercially companies would stick to React.
Makes sense.
Their hope, a sentiment many developers share, is that individual efforts proving Svelte's ease, performance, and robustness, combined with its very little baggage, will eventually draw in the bean counters.
So it's a slow burn trying to win hearts and minds and budgets.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This illustrates a fundamental battle for hearts and minds, and ultimately for precious development budgets.
So what does this all mean for you, the developer, navigating this landscape? This isn't merely a technical debate about which tool possesses superior code or benchmark.
Yeah, it's much bigger.
It's a profound, strategic business decision.
Yeah.
How do you, as a developer, balance that deeply felt desire for the absolute best tool, the one that makes your heart sing and your code fly, with the practical realities of existing investments, the current skill sets of your team, and the sheer inertia of established ecosystems?
It's a constant, nuanced dance between technical idealism and commercial pragmatism.
All right, so we spent a good amount of time exploring the true weight of choice and the often frustrating implications of vendor lock-in. Now let's flip the script entirely and talk about the antidote, the path to liberation. Framework agnosticism.
The way out.
Possibly. This isn't just another industry buzzword. It's a powerful, liberating philosophical approach to software development.
At its core, the idea of being framework agnostic simply means developing software or applications without being tied down to any specific framework.
Like being a free spirit.
Imagine, as one of our sources eloquently describes it, being a free spirit, unfettered by the chains of framework dependency. It fundamentally means not being restricted by the inherent rules, limitations, or specific ways of thinking dictated by a particular framework.
Okay, freedom.
This approach gives you the ultimate freedom to choose the absolute best tools and technologies for your specific project, entirely regardless of their compatibility with a single predetermined framework.
And that's precisely where the real magic happens. This liberation allows you to think outside the box and explore unconventional approaches to solve problems.
Right. It encourages genuine problem solving.
It encourages a mindset of true problem solving, rather than simply applying a prepackaged framework solution. This stands in stark contrast to the vendor lock problem we just discussed.
And the promise.
This is the explicit promise of breaking free, of having the power to select exactly the right tool for the job, rather than being forced into a less optimal solution simply because of existing ecosystem constraints or historical dependencies.
It's about building a fundamentally more robust, adaptable, and enduring system that transcends the individual quirks and dependencies of any single framework.
So if we truly connect this to the bigger picture, adopting a framework-agnostic approach unlocks a plethora of benefits that extend far beyond just technical purity.
Oh yeah, there are loads. Firstly, it offers truly tremendous flexibility and adaptability. By not being tied down to a specific framework, you gain the agility to easily switch between different frameworks, or even create your own custom framework tailored precisely to your specific needs.
Wow, build your own. That's ambitious.
Well, maybe not always build your own, but the ability to switch is key. This incredible adaptability allows you to respond dynamically to constantly changing project requirements or rapidly evolving technological advancements without facing the nightmare scenario of rewriting your entire code base from scratch.
That's huge. Future-proofing, basically.
Exactly. Think about how frequently project requirements shift, or how often a new, objectively better technology emerges. Agnosticism provides you with the crucial agility to pivot gracefully.
That deep-seated flexibility truly fosters an environment ripe for innovation and creativity.
Definitely. When you're no longer constrained by the limitations of a particular framework, you're genuinely free to explore new ideas and experiment with different technologies.
Not just following the framework's rules.
Right. This isn't just about trying out the latest shiny new toys. It leads directly to discovering more efficient and effective solutions, fundamentally pushing the boundaries of what you previously thought was possible in software development. It enables genuine breakthroughs.
Another truly significant advantage is a noticeable improvement in overall code quality.
How does that work?
When you're not solely relying on a specific framework to dictate your structure, you naturally gravitate towards encouraging cleaner and more modular code.
Makes sense. You have to think more architecturally.
This approach inherently results in better maintainability, easier debugging, and overall higher code quality. It also actively promotes the adoption of best practices and design patterns that are not tied to any specific framework, which is absolutely crucial for building applications that are not just functional today, but are robust and scalable for the future.
And the benefits extend remarkably to your team dynamics as well. Being framework agnostic makes it significantly easier to collaborate with developers who specialize in different frameworks or technologies.
Oh, interesting. Breaking down silos.
Exactly. This naturally leads to a fantastic cross-pollination of ideas and the sharing of best practices, ultimately enhancing the collective skill set and adaptability of your entire development team.
So a React dev and a Svelte dev could actually work together more easily.
Imagine a scenario where a seasoned React expert can seamlessly contribute to a Svelte component because the underlying architectural principles are shared and not rigidly dictated by a single framework's dogma. It breaks down those artificial silos.
Finally, and perhaps most crucially in today's incredibly fast-evolving technology landscape.
Future-proofing again?
Undeniable future-proofing. As our sources emphatically emphasize, technology is constantly evolving and frameworks come and go.
Ain't that the truth?
By consciously adopting this approach, you are not bound to the fate of any particular framework, ensuring that your applications remain relevant and adaptable, even as entirely new frameworks emerge and older ones gradually become obsolete.
This isn't just about avoiding technical debt. It's about building software that truly endures.
These are truly tangible, impactful benefits for not just your projects, but for your entire career trajectory.
Right.
It's about building software that is inherently resilient in a rapidly changing landscape.
Giving you the power to choose the perfect tool for today.
And the agility to adapt to the perfect tool for tomorrow. It's about empowerment. So if framework agnosticism offers all these incredible, almost aspirational benefits, how do you actually go about implementing it in the real world? It sounds like a lofty ideal.
Yeah, how do you do it?
Our sources make it clear that it fundamentally begins with a mindset shift. It's about accepting and recognizing that there is truly no one-size-fits-all solution in the complex, ever-evolving world of web development.
Precisely. This means that when you embark on any new project, the very first practical step is to conduct thorough research to understand the diverse range of frameworks available.
Not just defaulting to the usual suspect.
Right. This isn't just a quick skim. It demands a deep dive into their individual strengths, their inherent weaknesses, and their specific ideal use cases. This comprehensive research phase is absolutely crucial for making an informed, strategic decision.
One that genuinely aligns with your project's unique requirements, rather than just going with the crowd.
Once you've built that foundational understanding, the next critical step is to weigh the pros and cons of each framework in relation to your project requirements.
Beyond just speed.
Yeah, evaluating factors that extend far beyond just raw speed or current popularity. You're looking at long-term considerations like performance, scalability, community support, and ease of maintenance.
Thinking long-term.
You're not just picking the trendiest framework, you're thoughtfully selecting the one that best fits your actual long-term goals and the specific context of your application.
What's also quite fascinating here is the strong emphasis on continuous evaluation. The choice of framework, even with careful initial selection, isn't set in stone.
You're not married to it?
With a framework-agnostic approach, you consciously retain the inherent flexibility to switch frameworks if the need arises. This means you should consistently evaluate your chosen framework's scalability and its long-term maintainability.
And if it's not working out?
If, at some point, it's no longer effectively meeting your evolving needs, you should feel entirely empowered to explore other options rather than remaining trapped by an initial decision.
And this approach also has profound implications for your development team. You absolutely need to ensure your development team is equipped with the necessary skills to work with different frameworks.
Train them up or hire differently.
Yeah, this might involve making strategic investments in training programs, actively upskilling your current team members, or even making conscious strategic hires of developers with diverse and broad skill sets.
A multi-skilled team is more adaptable.
Having a team that is genuinely comfortable and proficient with multiple frameworks makes adapting to future changes and truly leveraging the best tools for any given task much smoother and more efficient.
And finally, it's about establishing a truly adaptable coding structure.
Writing code that can travel.
Essentially. This means consciously writing modular and reusable code that can be easily integrated with different frameworks. By consistently following established best practices and actively using design patterns that inherently promote flexibility, you can genuinely future-proof your code base.
Less rewrite effort later.
This significantly minimizes the effort required if and when you need to switch frameworks entirely or integrate different frameworks into a single application. It's about building for longevity.
This isn't about avoiding frameworks altogether. That would be impractical in most scenarios.
No, frameworks are useful.
Instead, it's about making truly informed strategic choices that empower your development rather than constraining it. It's about building a robust foundation that can gracefully evolve.
So we've discussed the pain points of vendor lock-in and laid out the compelling philosophy of framework agnosticism. Now, let's bring this abstract ideal into the concrete world. Let's look at a prime example of this philosophy in action, specifically for server-side JavaScript, nitro.js.
Ah, Nitro! Exciting stuff happening there.
This isn't just some theoretical concept floating out there. Nitro is a universal server toolkit that embodies these very principles.
Nitro.js is an open-source framework meticulously built using H3, which is a lean HTTP framework itself.
Part of the same ecosystem.
Exactly, we'll get to that. And it's packed with an impressive array of built-in features. Its core promise is truly remarkable and quite disruptive. It automatically makes your code compatible with any deployment provider and runtime.
Wow, any provider and runtime. That's bold.
It represents a monumental leap towards true runtime agnosticism. It can be used either standalone for building robust, high-performance server-side applications, or seamlessly integrated as the server engine of full-stack frameworks like Next v3.
So it powers Next3.
Correct. Which showcases its profound versatility. Its overarching aim is to relieve developers of the complexities associated with building performant and scalable server-side applications, allowing them to focus on business logic, not infrastructure.
And here's where it gets truly newsworthy and incredibly interesting. Just recently, July 8, 2025, Nitro made a significant announcement. It was joining forces with Vercel.
Big news.
With Vercel hiring key team members, including Nitro's influential maintainer, Airo, to work full-time on open-source projects. This is a massive vote of confidence, but for many, it also raised the question.
Yeah, the independence question. How does an acquisition by a major platform impact its agnostic nature?
Right. The crucial part, however, is their very clear, upfront commitment. Nitro will remain fully agnostic, equally supporting all vendors and frameworks openly, neutrally, and without lock-in, with strong governance principles.
That's a strong statement. It really raises an important question for you, the developer, about how such an acquisition might shape better infrastructure and support for Nitro.
While keeping that promise.
While simultaneously maintaining genuinely independent leadership and truly upholding those agnostic principles. It seems to be a powerful testament to Vercel's stated commitment to the broader JavaScript ecosystem.
Suggesting a future where even commercial interests can align with the fundamental values of openness and interoperability.
Potentially, yeah. The community response, as seen in GitHub discussions, has largely been one of excitement about the long-term stability and enhanced development potential that this partnership promises. It feels like a pragmatic step forward that surprisingly reinforces its core mission.
Now let's truly appreciate Nitro's specific features that make it such a powerful agnostic tool. First up, and a major relief for developers everywhere, zero configuration.
Music to my ears.
As developers, we know we already spend an outrageous amount of time setting up configurations for various tools, frameworks, and build processes. Nitro aims to make that experience profoundly better.
Just focus on the code.
Allowing you to just focus on coding. Plus, it offers TypeScript support out of the box, which for modern development is not just a nice to have.
It's table stakes now, really.
It's a huge immediate win for developer experience and code quality.
Building on that, its universal deployment feature is an undeniable standout. Imagine this. You write code once, which can be deployed to almost any hosting provider, environment, or runtime.
That's the dream, right?
This is the very essence of runtime agnosticism in practice. Nitro intelligently generates optimized output formats that are compatible with a truly wide array of platforms.
Like what?
Including traditional Node.js servers, modern browser environments, crucial service workers, and diverse serverless and edge platforms like Cloudflare Workers, Fastly Compute, Deno, Bun, Vercel, Netlify, AWS Lambda, Lambda at Edge, the list goes on.
Wow, that covers pretty much everything.
This unparalleled level of compatibility fundamentally means your deployment strategy is no longer dictated or constrained by your initial server-side framework choice. That's a game changer for long-term project viability.
And for developer convenience and overall efficiency, Nitro comes equipped with fantastic auto imports and pre-shaking.
Ah, the DX features.
Auto imports significantly reduce the amount of boilerplate code you have to write, keeping your code base inherently clean and minimal.
Less typing, fewer imports to manage.
When coupled with tree shaking, which intelligently eliminates unused code from the final code output bundle, your projects remain incredibly lean and efficient.
Smaller bundles, faster apps.
This isn't just about smaller bundle sizes. It dramatically reduces cognitive load, speeds up development, and significantly enhances code maintainability, allowing you to focus on the unique parts of your application.
Nitro also profoundly simplifies back-end API creation with its intuitive file system-based routing.
Like next.js pages, but for the backend.
Kinda, yeah. Instead of grappling with complex, often verbose routing configurations, you simply create a file in the AP or routes folder, and Nitro automatically maps it to a corresponding endpoint.
Give me an example.
For instance, a file named routeslistings.get.ts immediately creates a GT method endpoint accessible at listings. It seamlessly supports all standard HTTP methods like post, put, and delete, and even handles dynamic route parameters with ease. So a file like todoid.get.ts would elegantly handle a GD request for a specific to-do item by its ID.
That sounds incredibly natural.
This approach streamlines API development immensely, making it feel incredibly natural and efficient.
For building truly performant and scalable applications, effective caching is absolutely crucial.
Definitely need caching.
And Nitro provides it right out of the box. You gain granular control, able to configure caching per route using the straightforward define cache event handler, or for general utility functions with define cache function.
Nice, flexible options.
It even provides the flexibility to integrate custom storage backends like Redis or various KV stores, giving you complete command over your caching strategy to optimize for speed and resource usage.
And finally, a feature that profoundly improves the entire development workflow: hot module reloading, or HMR.
The magic HMR.
This allows for real-time updates to the application while preserving its state, without necessitating a full server restart with every single code change.
No more waiting for restarts.
This means significantly faster iteration cycles, reduced waiting times, and a much smoother, far more enjoyable development experience. It truly helps you stay in the flow.
These features, individually and collectively, directly address the frustrations of complexity and vendor lock-in that we discussed earlier. Nitro offers a streamlined, incredibly flexible, and highly efficient development process.
It genuinely embodies the agnostic philosophy we've been exploring. It's a real-world solution to complex problems.
All right, so we've heard about all these amazing features, the promises of simplicity and universal compatibility. But how simple is it really to get started with Nitro and build something tangible? Let's walk through a practical example, like creating a basic Todo API, as vividly detailed in our sources.
It's remarkably straightforward, truly delivering on that zero configuration promise. To quick start a brand new project, you simply run npx gidget at a latest Nitro app install.
Just one command.
One command rapidly scaffolds out a new Nitro project for you. Once you navigate into that newly created directory and run npm rundev, your development server is instantly ready and accessible, typically at http://localhost.3000.
Wow, okay, that's fast.
The setup time is truly minimal, a stark contrast to many other setups that can take hours.
And once you open that newly scaffolded project in your preferred code editor, what do you see?
You'll immediately see a clear, intuitive, and highly organized directory structure. You have server routes for your core application handlers, server API, which is quite similar but automatically prefixed with IPy.
Convenient.
Server tools for auto-imported utility functions that you can use anywhere, server plugins for custom Nitro plugins to extend functionality, and of course, nitro.config.ts for project-wide configuration, and a tsconfig.json for TypeScript setup.
It's a beautifully organized, predictable, and clean layout.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Building a basic CRUD API that's create, read, update, delete is also incredibly intuitive, almost as simple as writing plain JavaScript functions.
Okay, show me. Creating a to-do.
To create a new to-do item, you'd swiftly make a file like todos.post.ts inside your server routes directory. Inside this file, you use define event handler to encapsulate your API logic.
Standard stuff.
What's particularly neat is how Nitro handles storage without requiring you to set up a full database immediately. You can easily use storage data.
Use storage. What's that do?
Locally, it maps to a .data view directory, meaning your data, perhaps a todos.json file, is stored right there. It's a simple local key value store, perfect for rapid prototyping and getting started without external dependencies.
Oh, that's clever. So no DB needed right away.
Exactly.
So extending that example, if you were to define a todos.get.ts file in that very same server root folder.
It automatically becomes your GDT endpoint for retrieving all to-dos.
And for fetching a single to-do, like sudo 1203.
You use a route parameter structure like todoid.get.ts, which then allows you to effortlessly extract the id from the URL using Nitro's getRouterParam utility.
Nice. It genuinely makes API creation feel less like configuring a complex system and more like just writing clearly named functions within a well-organized file structure. It's incredibly logical.
The seamlessness and simplicity extend all the way to deployment as well. Once your API is ready for the world, deploying it to a major provider like Vercel is remarkably straightforward.
How easy?
Nitro's nitro.config.ts allows you to configure your storage driver to use something like @vercelv for production environments. After installing that necessary package, a quick single change in the config file and pushing your code to Git
And Vercel just picks it up.
enables you to deploy directly from your Vercel dashboard with virtually no additional complex configurations. Nitro efficiently builds a production-ready server in the output directory that is inherently compatible with almost any modern cloud provider.
This entire workflow truly demonstrates Nitro's core promises of zero configuration and universal deployment in tangible action. It's not just talk.
No, it's a proven, genuinely developer-friendly, and broadly compatible solution that dramatically streamlines the entire back-end development process.
It fundamentally helps you focus your valuable time and energy on your unique application logic, rather than getting bogged down in the intricacies of underlying infrastructure complexities.
That's a huge win for productivity and developer satisfaction.
We've just seen how incredibly powerful nitro.js is as an agnostic server toolkit. But it's crucial to understand that Nitro doesn't exist in isolation. It's an integral part of a larger, even more ambitious movement, the unified JavaScript or UnJS ecosystem.
That's absolutely right. UnJS is the bigger picture here.
What is UnJS exactly?
UnJS is precisely defined as a collection of universal JavaScript utilities designed to work with any JavaScript runtime, platform, or environment. It represents an overarching, forward-thinking vision for how JavaScript development can become significantly more harmonious, less fragmented, and ultimately more efficient.
And it has a philosophy.
It does. The UnJS philosophy is meticulously built on 3 core tenets. Firstly, there's a strong emphasis on high quality and single purpose.
Do one thing well.
Exactly, meaning every single package is finely crafted and focused on specific functionalities, making them inherently easy to understand, easy to use, and incredibly efficient at their given task.
Which is truly fantastic, because focus tools tend to do one thing exceptionally well, rather than trying to be a jack of all trades.
Secondly, there's a clear and strong emphasis on being collaborative and welcoming, actively fostering a community where developers unite to innovate, embracing fresh ideas, feedback, and code contributions with open arms.
Community is key in open source.
This commitment to openness and collaboration speaks volumes about the project's long-term sustainability, its adaptability, and its potential for continuous growth. It's about building together.
And a third tenet.
And thirdly, a crucial pillar is consistency and compatibility. UnJS packages are meticulously sliced into low-level functions and consistently follow best practices to ensure smooth compatibility across various JS environments.
Like agnostic part.
This is precisely where the agnostic excellence truly shines through, providing foundational building blocks that can be seamlessly assembled across wildly different setups without encountering friction.
And is this approach gaining traction?
The tangible impact of this cohesive approach is clearly evident in Nitro's impressive growth metrics. About 5.8K GitHub stars, and over 450K weekly NPM downloads.
Wow, 450K downloads a week. That's significant.
These numbers are a resounding testament to the community's yearning for intuitive, developer experience-centric tools. It's also incredibly notable that Nitro is now actively being considered as a core server engine for other popular frameworks like Angular and Solid Start.
Really? Angular and Solid.
Yeah, further validating the broad applicability and enduring vision of the UnJS ecosystem.
Now, this very strict commitment to single-purpose libraries within the UnJS philosophy actually led to a rather interesting and quite public internal discussion.
Ah, yes, the framework versus library debate.
Our sources highlight a GitHub discussion where a user genuinely questioned if Nitro, given its remarkably broad functionality handling things like storage abstraction, cache management, asset generation, and even bundling, was truly appropriate for the UnJS ecosystem.
They essentially argued that Nitro is not a single-purpose library, but instead a framework. It's an interesting point about definitions and boundaries, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and it highlights a critical point about how we define tools in such a rapidly evolving field, How did the maintainers respond?
The maintainer, Panay, responded thoughtfully to this, explaining that Nitro is following most of the NJS design goals. It aims to make agnostic servers with the best effort to keep abstraction and hackability and simplicity. They offered a truly fantastic and clarifying analogy. Think of nitro.js as what Ubuntu is to Unix tools.
Ah, Ubuntu bundles lots of Unix tools together into a usable OS.
Precisely. Ubuntu is a complete user-friendly operating system built on top of many foundational single-purpose Unix utilities, much in the same way that Nitro is a comprehensive, powerful server toolkit built upon many single-purpose NJS libraries.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It clarifies the relationship beautifully and makes a complex concept immediately understandable.
Pincher acknowledged that Nitro is indeed a semi-meta framework, and that they are open to improving the NJS goals to explicitly allow frameworks.
So they're flexible on the definition.
This very candid admission indicates that even within an agnostic ecosystem striving for purity, the lines between what constitutes a library and what constitutes a framework can blur in practice. It clearly underscores the practical challenges of maintaining strict definitional purity in a dynamic, open-source environment.
This isn't about rigid adherence to labels, but about flexible evolution towards a shared greater goal of agnostic, high-quality development.
It's a testament to the pragmatism and adaptability of the NJS team. It truly illustrates the dynamic nature of open-source definitions. It underscores the very real, practical challenges, ultimately prioritizing practical utility over strict categorical adherence.
So beyond Nitro itself, what are some of the other key pillars within the NGS ecosystem that are contributing to this overarching agnostic mission? These are, in many ways, the unsung heroes, right?
The fundamental building blocks that truly empower agnostic development across the JavaScript landscape.
Okay, name some names.
Let's certainly look at a few that are highly impactful. First, there's H3, which we mentioned.
The minimal HTTP framework Nitro uses.
Exactly. It's often described as a modern and friendlier alternative to express.js, meticulously built for high performance and portability. This is the foundational layer, the bedrock, for creating highly composable and efficient server applications.
Okay, what else?
Then we have Unplugin. This is really cool. It's a unified plugin system for building tools that astonishingly works across a wide array of popular bundlers like Vite, Rollup, Webpack, and SBuild.
One plugin for all bundlers. Seriously.
Yeah. This means that you, as a developer, can write a single plugin and have it function seamlessly across many different build tools, effectively abstracting away the specific quirks and configurations of each.
That's an enormous win for developer efficiency, for consistency, and for overall tool interoperability. A huge step towards write once, run anywhere for build system extensions.
Agnostic absolutely critical piece in this agnostic puzzle is unstorage.
Storage abstraction.
It provides a universal key-value storage API that is runtime agnostic and supports over 20 key-value storage drivers. This powerful utility underpins Nitro's built-in storage and caching features, offering a wonderfully consistent API for data persistence regardless of whether you're using a local file system, a robust in-memory store like Redis, or a cloud-native KV store.
That truly emphasizes the profound runtime agnostic aspect, giving you unprecedented flexibility in your data layer.
And who among us doesn't appreciate a significantly better fetch API?
Yeah, fetch. It's like fetch, but better.
It's masterfully pitched as a much better alternative to the browser-native fetch API that works flawlessly across Node.js, browsers, and service workers. It offers a vastly improved developer experience with features like better error handling, comprehensive type support, and intelligent auto retries.
Nice. Fewer headaches with fetching.
This is precisely the kind of universal utility that makes truly agnostic development a practical reality by providing reliable cross-environment data fetching without common headaches.
Okay, one more.
Finally, there's Unimport, which provides unified utilities to support auto-importing APIs in modules.
Ah, like Nitro's auto imports.
This is the quiet enabler behind Nitro's fantastic developer experience, meaning you don't need to manually import every single function or utility, you just use it, and Unimport intelligently handles the rest.
So convenient.
Collectively, these NJS packages represent the robust, well-engineered plumbing that makes truly agnostic development not just feasible, but genuinely enjoyable. They effectively abstract away the complexities of different runtimes and framework specifics.
This brings us to a truly exciting and forward-looking concept. The future is flexible, the rise of adapters and unification potential. We've seen the compelling vision of framework agnosticism and explored a powerful tool like nitro.js. Now, let's look at the broader trend.
The rise of adapters.
The rise of adapters across the entire JavaScript ecosystem. What does that mean?
The core idea here is elegantly simple, yet profoundly impactful. Libraries and tools are increasingly being designed with adapters in mind, allowing them to integrate seamlessly across different frameworks and runtime environments.
So the library itself isn't tied to React or Vue, it just has adapters.
Exactly. This represents a fundamental architectural shift that directly addresses and significantly minimizes vendor lock-in, while simultaneously streamlining development workflows and enhancing overall flexibility.
Think of it quite literally like a universal power adapter for your electronics. You have one core device, say your laptop, but you can plug it into any electrical outlet anywhere in the world thanks to a simple interchangeable adapter.
Great analogy.
That's precisely the kind of flexibility and genuine independence these software adapters are bringing to modern web development. It means your core business logic, or a critical library, can be written once.
It then simply plugged into various front-end frameworks, different server runtimes, or diverse deployment environments without requiring massive, costly rewrites. It's about building truly portable, resilient software.
Beyond Nitro, there are many other innovative projects and strategic approaches that beautifully embody this agnostic tie.
Definitely. Consider Ono, for instance.
Ono. Tell me about it.
A relatively new, small, simple, and ultra-fast web framework built entirely on web standards. Its absolutely crucial feature is its universal reach. It astonishingly works on practically any JavaScript runtime.
Like Nitro's deployment.
Very similar list. Cloudflare workers, Fastly Compute, Dino, Bun, Vercel, Netlify, AWS Lambda, Lambda at Edge, and traditional Node.js. This means you can write your code once and deploy it almost anywhere without major modifications. That truly is unparalleled code portability.
And Vite. We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah. And Vite, already renowned for its rapid development cycles and incredible hot reloading capabilities, is now actively extending its utility far beyond just front-end bundling.
Oh, so?
It's now supporting modern back-end frameworks, enabling a whole new way of developing full-stack applications, where you get hot module reloading across the entire stack, both front-end and back-end.
HMR for the back-end, too. That's cool.
This newfound flexibility in the development server allows developers to mix and match front-end and back-end technologies far more easily and efficiently than ever before, fostering true full-stack agility.
This unification, or rather the potential for greater coherence, also extends significantly to the code itself.
Absolutely. With modern full-stack architectures like Vite coupled with Ono, developers can effectively reduce the unnecessary division between the back-end and the front-end by strategically sharing API types.
Sharing types between front-end and back-end?
Yeah. Ono, for example, excels at allowing the same API types to be shared seamlessly between your back-end and your front-end, which profoundly improves the quality of code and enhances consistency across your entire application.
Fewer integration bugs, I bet.
This type sharing is a concrete, tangible benefit that reduces integration errors, streamlines development, and significantly enhances team collaboration.
And then we have portable libraries, like TanStack Query.
Ah, Tanner Lindsley's work. Excellent stuff.
Described as a powerful asynchronous state management solution for TSJS that proudly boasts a profoundly framework-agnostic nature.
Works with React, Solid, Vue, Svelte, Angular.
It intelligently handles complex concerns like caching, background updates, and stale data out of the box, all with no global state to manage, no reducers, no normalization systems, or heavy configurations.
And it uses adapters, right?
Crucially, it's also back-end agnostic and has zero dependencies, using intelligent adapters for framework-specific features, like leveraging Angular signals for reactivity. This is a prime example of core complex logic that truly adapts seamlessly to its environment.
When it comes to server-side rendering, or SSR, especially with Vite becoming so central, several innovative solutions are emerging.
What are the options there?
SSRX, for instance, is a Vite plugin specifically for SSR that aims to formalize hooking third-party libraries into the SSR lifecycle while remaining as flexible as possible. It's designed to be server-agnostic.
Works with Ono or Express or whatever.
Yeah, working effortlessly with various Node.js Bun servers or even serverless HTTP frameworks like Ono. This hooking mechanism is a sophisticated form of adaptation.
Okay, what else?
Then there's Vinxi. Now, Vinxi is coupled to the H3 HTTP framework and Nitro web server.
Ah, less agnostic.
But it uses this coupling in a profoundly strategic way. The underlying idea is that this deliberate coupling allows it to Build a shared library of trusted tools that can do the common operations across all the platforms. Things like managing sessions, handling cores, setting cookies, managing authentication.
So it provides a standard runtime layer.
Sort of, yeah. You gain a robust, standardized server runtime that's still remarkably versatile enough for many interoperable scenarios, providing common ground for diverse framework.
And Vike, V-I-K-E.
Vite positions itself like next.js, Nuxt, but as a do one thing, do it well Vite plugin. It offers a more full-featured SSR solution, notably with an integrated client router.
Integrated router, so maybe less flexible there.
Well, it's immensely powerful, but its integrated router means if you, the developer, prefer using a separate, independent client-side router, perhaps something like Tanstack router, you might lean towards other solutions like SSRX.
These distinctions beautifully highlight the different philosophical approaches to achieving flexibility and agnosticism within the complex SSR landscape. One size rarely fits all.
Even seemingly mundane aspects like build tooling play a significant role in this overall push for flexibility.
Like rollup versus TSC.
Exactly. For back-end Node.js applications, our sources strongly recommend rollup over TSC for bundling. Why? Because TSC is very bad at supporting TypeScript, with TSS extensions apparently.
Oh, really?
And it dramatically complicates maintaining a truly unified tconfig.json across your project. Rollup, by contrast, helps you maintain a single cohesive tconfig.json for both your front-end and back-end.
Which is a practical, everyday example of adapting tooling to achieve a seamless full-stack development experience and drastically reducing configuration headaches.
Finally, we're seeing the powerful emergence of type-safe API clients, wonderfully exemplified by Ono again.
How does Ono help with client-side fetching?
Ono greatly facilitates streamlined front-end, back-end communication, making API interactions feel incredibly intuitive, as if calling local functions through intelligent type inference based on your back-end routes.
Oh, like TRPC.
Similar concept, yeah. This Ono client effectively acts as a sophisticated adapter for consuming back-end services, abstracting away the underlying complexities of raw HTTP requests, and actively promoting easier refactoring and even potential future migration of front-end technologies.
It's truly about making the front-end and back-end feel and behave like a single, cohesive, and type-safe unit.
These tools, these architectural patterns, these philosophies, these are the very building blocks that are making agnostic development a widespread reality. They are abstracting away the complexities, providing you, the developer, with unprecedented power, choice, and flexibility.
This natural progression leads us to a central, perhaps existential question that came up in a fascinating discussion with JavaScript framework maintainers. Will we, as an industry, ever truly get one framework to rule them all?
The million-dollar question, is that even the ideal future?
The short answer from the experts at the GitNation React Summit Fireside Chat was a definitive no.
Expected? Maybe.
The slightly longer, more nuanced answer was probably not, because it's complicated. While there are indeed clear and undeniable areas of convergence, such as frameworks increasingly standardizing on shared primitives, like signals for reactivity.
Signals are everywhere now.
And adopting similar, intelligent ideas about fine-grained code loading, fundamental differences persist. Angular's technical lead, Minko Getchuf, pointed out how inherently difficult it is to standardize even on basics, like how different frameworks handle syntax or underlying architectural patterns. The how of building is deeply ingrained.
This is precisely where Ryan Carniato, the brilliant creator of Solid, brings up what he calls the vibe argument.
The vibe.
He shared that Rich Harris, the visionary Svelte creator, once famously said that people choose frameworks not just on technical merit, but significantly based on their vibe or overall personality. And Carniato agrees, suggesting that as long as there are different vibes, you're going to have different frameworks.
And Svelte actually leans into this.
Svelte, in fact, explicitly states in its GitHub that it will optimize for vibes and explicitly aim to be the framework with the best vibes. It's about how the development experience feels.
Fred Schott, the co-creator of Astro, beautifully and pragmatically reinterprets this vibe as distinct strengths.
Ah, a more concrete take.
He argues that each framework genuinely offers unique, compelling strengths for different use cases and problem domains. For example, Svelte's really good at data visualization, has an incredibly HTML familiar syntax, and is great for learning because of its intuitive nature.
Okay, React.
React, on the other hand, is excellent for standard JSX and is considered a safe bet for many large commercial projects due to its maturity and ecosystem.
Solid. Astro.
Solid is super performant and is often leading the way in certain cutting-edge performance areas. And Astro, his own creation, has a clear and strong content focus, making it ideal for content-heavy websites.
So the powerful argument here is that if we were to all converge down to the lowest common denominator of some one tool to rule them all,
we would inevitably lose out on these incredibly valuable, unique strengths that each framework brings to the table.
Makes sense. Not every use case is the same. Not every performance requirement is identical, and therefore not every technology should be the same.
This perspective celebrates the inherent diversity of the web development ecosystem, viewing these different frameworks not as rivals in a zero-sum game, but as highly specialized, powerful tools in a developer's expansive toolkit.
Each excelling profoundly in its unique niche.
And this leads directly to what Akansha Doshi, an influential open-source maintainer of Excalidraw, proposes as the ideal future for web development.
What's her vision?
Instead of focusing on merging the frameworks, it should be more about standardizing the principles used behind those frameworks.
Standardize the foundations, not the frameworks themselves.
Her inspiring vision is one where, in a truly composable future, it could be possible that in the same application, some part could be next.js, some part could be in Astro, and another part could be in some other framework.
Mix and match the best parts.
So you get the best of all three, depending on the usage.
This, for me, is truly the ultimate expression of framework agnosticism and composability. It's not about forcing a single monolithic framework upon everyone.
Which we know from experience can lead to massive maintenance issues and inevitably slow down crucial feature development.
Instead, it's about a pragmatic focus on shared underlying principles and the development of robust, seamless adapters. This pragmatic path allows for incredible interoperability without losing the unique strengths and distinct vibes that make each tool valuable.
It fundamentally gives developers the profound freedom to truly compose their applications with the absolute best pieces available for each specific requirement. And that wraps up our deep dive into the fascinating, evolving world of framework agnosticism and the dynamic JavaScript ecosystem.
We've journeyed from the genuine frustrations of vendor lock-in, where developers often feel uncomfortably stuck to a single framework's ecosystem,
to the truly liberating philosophy of agnostic excellence. This profound shift empowers developers to choose tools based purely on true project needs and optimal performance, rather than inherited dependencies or historical constraints.
And we've seen how innovative tools like nitro.js, a pivotal part of the broader node.js ecosystem, are embodying this very shift.
They offer developers incredible flexibility, performance, and maintainability on the server side, compatible with virtually any deployment environment you can imagine.
The rise of adapters is truly the key, acting as the universal connectors that seamlessly bridge diverse tools and runtimes.
For you, the listener, this means a future with significantly reduced vendor lock-in, a profoundly improved developer experience, thanks to consistent APIs and powerful utilities,
and the undeniable ability to truly future-proof your applications in an ever-changing tech landscape. We genuinely encourage you to continue exploring these agnostic tools and principles yourself. The journey is just beginning.
So as you go forth, consider this provocative thought. If the future of web development isn't about finding one framework to rule them all, but rather about leveraging a robust ecosystem of highly specialized agnostic tools and intelligent adapters,
what does that unlock?
What entirely new possibilities open up for crafting truly custom, incredibly optimized, and enduring web applications? How might this fundamental shift fundamentally change the way development teams are structured, how projects are planned?
Moving beyond the default full-stack framework approach
to a more composable, adaptive, and truly empowered development methodology. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.